And I also kind of want to just put this disclaimer up before I continue on with this video. Look, if you come to my videos and look, first off, I want to say everybody who is here and just watches my videos and shows the love and support, and who is still here even after this sort of inconsistency with my channel, thank you, much appreciated. You guys, I'm keeping this going for you and myself as well, but it's us, right? But I guess I just want to put this disclaimer up before I preface on, because I feel like I need to mention it. Look, I know there's people who don't agree with what I say. I'm probably going to go on a whole rant, and there's people that might agree, and there's people who are going to disagree. And really, I'm just saying this, I guess, for myself before I go into this. Look, if you don't agree with what I'm about to say, if you don't like what I'm about to say, if you're not a fan of me giving advice because I should let people have their own experiences and I don't have any business in telling people what path to take, how they should live their lives, how they can go, look, live your own thing, dude. Live your own thing. I'm not going to worry on... Look, I'm sharing my experience because I think it could provide value. Some people, advice deters them. It hinders them. It stops them. This is a game of self-awareness, dude. This is a game of self-awareness. You know, look, I do this because at one point in my life, when I was lost, I had people, I was fortunate enough to find people on the internet who were kind enough to do the deed to share their life experiences and their wisdom and their advice with me, through their platform and whatnot. And I was fortunate enough to come across that advice, and it's helped me be able to do so much with my fucking life. Now, there's other people out there who it might not be the case for them. Teachings might have failed them. They are against the idea of following someone's teachings, right? And maybe my advice isn't worth it. Maybe I shouldn't be giving advice because, like I said, I should be letting people have their own experience. Cool. This is a game of self-awareness. There's no definite fucking answer to how we do this shit, right? And all I have to say is, look, if you don't agree with me and what I'm doing, that's fine. You want to comment on the YouTube videos, you want to dislike them because I'm doing something wrong by telling people what they should do and how they should go about this, fine. Not worrying about it. Nah, I ain't gonna lie, it bothers me a bit, but I think that, look, you gotta understand I'm doing this because at one point in my life, people were willing to do it, and it's helped me get to a tremendously amazing place in my life that I know I couldn't have done it without. It helped me. So I want to pay it forward. I think everyone should be self-aware as to what helps them. I'm not going to be mad if you don't want to take in my advice. I'm not, expecting the world to fucking follow me, right? I'm not trying to fucking run cults here or anything like that. I just simply want to give my experience. I just want to share that shit. And then hopefully, someone's inspired by it. It helps them. Something about me or what I say gets them going. It gets them to do better. It helps them out. It inspires them. It betters them. That's all it's about. I'm not sharing advice to tell people how to... Look, your path is ultimately your path, and I agree. And I agree that we should have our own experiences, and we should form our own beliefs, and we should have our own sort of approach of doing things, right? Don't just be blind and listen to everybody, right? We should have our own experiences. I agree with that. And sometimes I think we get so caught up in looking for the answers in everybody else when the answer really lies within us. And sometimes we have a hard time just realizing, hey, go experience. Go do the fucking thing. And then come to me, right? Like Elliot Hulse once said, a lot of us like to get our fucking research about life. A lot of us like to read about life. How about you go play life, right? How about you go out there and do the fucking thing? I 1000% agree. I get caught up in this sometimes. I'm not going to lie. Again, why? Because I'm an advice seeker. You know, it was a big thing for me back in 2019. I go through video. I mean, every day just trying to find the answers. And it was like, there's really no answers. You need to go have your own experience with this, right? You need to look in here. And sometimes I think that is a shadow to what we do if we are advice seekers or advice takers, right? You know, especially if me giving advice, you know, I could imagine that someone's strolling across and they're on a video rampage trying to find the answers for their situations. And sometimes, you know, we can't give those answers because the answer isn't there like that. The answer is in your experience, in your time, and you doing your thing, right? There's a time to listen to someone, right? Again, I'm going to use another Elliot Hulse reference. I'm just a fucking finger, right? And all we're doing, all I'm trying to do is point you in a direction. But ultimately, you make the decision, right? Same thing with me, you know. When I listen to whatever mentors and whatnot, they're just pointing me in a direction. Ultimately, we have the answers within ourselves. We're just being pointed in a direction. And then, bam, that's all it is. It's guidance. Now, whether or not you want that guidance is on you. And you have your own reasons. Right? And I guess the whole reason I'm prefacing this is really because, like, I'm trying to prepare for the judgment these people are probably going to have toward what I do. And I guess I just hate that sometimes because it's like, you know, it's like, fuck, I'm doing this and I'm being judged for it. Which is kind of confusing to me, but it's also like, what are you going to expect, right? You know? So, and again, it is one of my big insecurities coming onto these videos is that people don't appreciate what I do, that what I'm saying has no value, that what I'm saying means nothing, that what I'm saying is worthless, means nothing. That's why you can't even get 100 views over a fucking video, right? Because people don't really give a shit about what you have to say. Yeah, I mean, that's sometimes how I feel. And when I sort of get judged for doing this, or when I get that negative feedback, it just further reinforces that point that I have within myself, that narrative. But, you know, I'm fortunate enough to have inspired certain souls and be able to realize, hey, what you're doing isn't fucking pointless. You know, you've touched hearts. And there's people counting on you, waiting on you. Don't stop. You know. There's other people that don't want it, fine. Not doing it for them. Yeah, do it not only for the people that appreciate, but for yourself, man. Because this isn't just, like, you know, well, I got another video explaining that, but, yeah. So I guess I just wanted to say that, you know. Ultimately, you got to be self-aware about your own experience. You got to be self-aware about yourself. And you got to listen to yourself as to whether taking advice from me or someone else is going to serve you or not serve you. Hell, it might not even be my advice that guides you. It might be someone else's. That's ultimate. That's fine. You know? I just, yeah. Ultimately, like I say, and this is just for kind of anyone at this point now, ultimately you have to decide for yourself whether something has to be experienced for yourself or whether looking for an answer or a someone to point you in a direction could help. Because let me tell you something, even if you get pointed down a direction that's wrong, that's still a lesson. Right. And I know what that's like. So, ultimately, you know, sometimes by going down the wrong paths, you know, for certainties, right? I think there's a balance of action, going out and just doing the things and getting the experience, and gaining the guidance from other people as to what we could do before or upon taking action, right? Sometimes we're lost, and sometimes, and that's when guidance, I guess, that's when we have to admit that we need some. But sometimes we gotta look in here, and sometimes we gotta experience. You gotta have a balance, and ultimately we have to determine for ourselves, using our intuition and our sensitivity within ourselves, what that's gonna be. So, yeah. I'm not going to say too much more, because I think at that point I'll just keep saying the same shit over and over. So I think this video is long enough, but yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say. Until the next one, peace.